Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa and Associates. For consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.
Hello, my name is Mary Campbell, legal assistant at the law firm of Figueroa and Associates, and your presenter with a special immigration report based on an article by attorney Brian Figueroa. The impact of President Trump's executive orders on political asylum applications, pending and new cases procedural analysis. Introduction. The U.S. asylum system has long served as a beacon of hope for individuals fleeing persecution, violence, and human rights violations in their home countries. Governed by both domestic laws and international treaties, the asylum process provides protection to those who meet the legal definition of a refugee, someone unable or unwilling to return to their home country due to persecution based on race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. Executive orders, EOs, play a crucial role in shaping asylum policy by allowing the president to bypass Congress and directly implement changes to immigration enforcement and processing. During his tenure, President Donald Trump signed a series of executive orders that significantly altered the landscape of political asylum in the United States. These policies aim to curb immigration, strengthen border security, and restrict eligibility for asylum, leading to profound impacts on both pending and new asylum applications. This article aims to analyze how Trump's executive orders affected the procedural aspects of political asylum applications. We will examine the influence on cases already in process as well as newly filed applications, addressing critical issues such as processing delays, eligibility restrictions, legal challenges, and the broader implications for the U.S. immigration system. Key executive orders affecting asylum policies. President Trump's administration introduced several executive orders targeting immigration, many of which directly impacted asylum procedures. The most significant orders include 1. Executive Order 13,767, Border Security and Immigration Enforcement Improvements, signed on January 25, 2017. This EO aimed to enhance border security and reduce illegal immigration. It called for the construction of a border wall, increased detention capacity, and stricter enforcement of immigration laws. This order directly impacted asylum seekers by expanding expedited removal proceedings, limiting parole options for asylum seekers while awaiting case adjudication, increasing the deployment of border enforcement officers. 2. Executive Order 13,780. Protecting the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the U.S., commonly known as the travel ban. This order restricted entry from several Muslim-majority countries and introduced extreme vetting measures. Though primarily focused on visa applicants, it indirectly impacted asylum seekers from affected countries by prolonging processing times and increasing scrutiny of their applications. 3. Executive Order 13,841. Family Separation Policy and Zero Tolerance. Issued in June 2018, this controversial policy aimed to deter illegal immigration by prosecuting all individuals who crossed the border unlawfully, resulting in widespread family separations. Asylum-seeking families were heavily affected, as children were separated from parents and legal procedures were delayed or complicated by the separation process. 4. Additional executive actions. Beyond formal EOs, the Trump administration implemented other policy changes, such as the Remain in Mexico program, migrant protection protocols, which forced asylum seekers to wait in Mexico while their cases were processed in U.S. courts. The administration also sought to redefine eligibility criteria, making it harder for individuals to qualify for asylum. Impact on pending political asylum applications. The implementation of these executive orders had profound consequences on pending asylum applications, exacerbating an already strained system. Some key impacts include 1. Increased backlog and delays. The asylum backlog surged during the Trump administration, with cases taking years to be processed due to new enforcement measures. The introduction of policies such as last in, first out processing further complicated the situation, forcing older cases into indefinite limbo. 2. Enhanced vetting measures. Executive orders imposed stricter background checks, increasing the burden of proof on applicants. Individuals were required to submit more comprehensive documentation, which led to procedural delays and increased scrutiny, often resulting in denials based on technicalities. 3. Administrative challenges and increased rejection rates. The denial rates for asylum cases rose significantly as adjudicators applied more rigid criteria and interpreted asylum laws more narrowly, particularly regarding claims related to gang violence and domestic abuse. 4. Impact on legal status and work authorization. Many pending applicants face difficulties in renewing work permits and maintaining legal status while awaiting decisions, putting them at risk of deportation and economic hardship. 5. Access to legal representation. Asylum seekers encountered greater obstacles in securing legal counsel, with many nonprofit organizations overwhelmed by the influx of cases and changing policies that made representation more complex. Impact on new political asylum cases procedurally. For new asylum applicants, the Trump administration's policies presented additional hurdles and procedural changes that reshaped the application process. 1. Stricter eligibility criteria and credible fear interviews. The administration imposed tougher standards on credible fear interviews, which serve as the initial screening for asylum seekers at the border. Applicants had to demonstrate a higher likelihood of success in their full asylum hearing, leading to an increase in expedited deportations. 2. Changes to expedited removal proceedings. Under Trump's executive orders, the scope of expedited removal was expanded, allowing immigration authorities to deport individuals without a hearing before an immigration judge if they fail to prove their eligibility at the border. 3. Third country agreements and remain in Mexico policy. Agreements with countries like Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador forced asylum seekers to apply for protection in those countries first before seeking asylum in the U.S. The Remain in Mexico policy subjected applicants to prolonged stays in dangerous border cities while awaiting hearings. 4. Denial rates and narrowing of persecution definitions. New guidelines redefined what qualifies as persecution, excluding claims related to gang violence, gender-based violence, and economic hardship. This change resulted in higher rejection rates and a significant decline in asylum grants. 5. Impact on vulnerable populations. Women, children, and LGBT+ individuals faced increased difficulty in accessing asylum protections due to the restrictive interpretations of asylum laws, leaving many at risk of harm. Legal challenges and responses to Trump's asylum policies. The executive orders issued by President Trump faced numerous legal challenges from advocacy groups, states, and international organizations. 1. Major lawsuits against asylum policies. The American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, and other legal groups filed multiple lawsuits challenging policies like the travel ban and family separation, arguing that they violated constitutional and humanitarian protections. 2. Court rulings and injunctions. Federal courts frequently intervened to block certain provisions of Trump's asylum policies, though the administration continued to appeal decisions, creating legal uncertainty for applicants. 3. Advocacy and public response. Human rights organizations and immigrant advocacy groups mobilized to provide legal aid and public awareness campaigns to counter the negative impacts of restrictive asylum policies. 4. Congressional efforts. Some members of Congress introduced legislation to counteract Trump's asylum restrictions, though these efforts faced significant political resistance. Comparative analysis. Asylum policies before and after Trump won. Obama-era policies versus Trump's changes. The Obama administration focused on balancing enforcement with humanitarian concerns, whereas Trump's policies prioritized enforcement over protection. 2. Impact on the asylum system's integrity. The restrictive measures introduced during Trump's tenure led to a decline in asylum grants and an increase in procedural complexity, fundamentally altering the system. 3. Reversal of policies post-Trump. The Biden administration took steps to reverse many of Trump's policies, including terminating the Remain in Mexico program and reinstating more lenient asylum processing measures. Conclusion and future outlook. Trump's executive orders had a lasting impact on political asylum procedures in the U.S., creating challenges for both pending and new applicants. The increased scrutiny, procedural hurdles, and policy shifts resulted in longer processing times, higher denial rates, and greater hardships for vulnerable populations. Moving forward, policymakers must find a balance between national security and humanitarian obligations to restore fairness and efficiency to the asylum system. Comprehensive immigration reform, improved processing efficiency, and enhanced legal support for asylum seekers will be critical in rebuilding trust and ensuring the system remains a refuge for those in need.
Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa & Associates. For consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.